How's it going, everybody? Rye here today, and we are back with your Calgary Flames here in episode number 2, just about halfway through season number 1. I know we're only about 23 games, but we're at December 1st, couple months in, so a lot more to go here. I'll probably get this episode up until the trade deadline, but I wanted to pause and say thank you guys so much for all the amazing support on this series so far. It's truly been amazing to see so many new faces, so many new commenters. If you're new and you're enjoying this series, if you're new to the RyeSquad, make sure to leave a comment. Those of you that aren't part of the RyeSquad, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. And guys, a like would go a long way. It means a lot and really does help the channel out. Let me know that you are enjoying the direction I'm taking the Calgary Flames. And the direction right now is to the bottom. Yes, I know. To the bottom is not exactly where you want to go, but you got to have some pain before in the long term we can become a dynasty. And that's the goal here, is not just making the playoffs and losing in the first or second round. No. We want a true, purebred dynasty here. And I think we're setting ourselves up for success. We've got a lot of young talent playing a lot of minutes here. Alexis Lafreniere, on our top line, that was the big acquisition from last episode, but we had many, many more, and we're letting the young guys play as much as possible. Connor Zary here, playing 18 minutes a night. Yes, he's a -3. I get it. Ruzicka as well. Another guy that's actually a +10, playing 15 minutes a night. I believe I moved him up, and I moved Michael Backlund down. Now, Michael Backlund is a guy that, he's good. He's got actually a surprisingly good shot, great defensive category, and he just doesn't have the offensive category for me here. So, some of you in the comment section have been giving me a lot of feedback. I'm absolutely loving all these comments, by the way. I love seeing them like all day long, reading them, thinking about them, just keeping in the know with what the fans are saying about GM Rybread's tenure here in Calgary. But one player you guys mentioned to target was JJ Peterka. I love JJ Peterka. I think he's great, and I think he fits exactly what we're looking for here. JJ Peterka here at 21. He's already 83. I know for a fact he's medium top 6. He's not medium elite or anything like that, and I know he doesn't have an X factor, but he's got another year on a really, really cheap deal. And you can see here he would fit the locker room, right, as a well-rounded personality, meshes with any room. And then as far as our scouts' assessment of how he would fit our current scheme, which currently the coach, I've got no complaints about the coach. He's a great teacher, and his scheme seems to get us a big plus on the first line. And then the second and third line, and maybe the defense is probably where he lacks a little bit here. But for JJ Peterka at 21 to be an 83 with medium top 6, if he only grows 1 or 2 more points, that's solid for me. I mean, he's got 5 years to do that, and I think he deserves more ice time than line 3, power play 2, and penalty kill 2. He fits on our first line. Don't know if I'd play him there, but here's his underlying stats. Now, I'm covering up his physical category. It's basically all 85s, except for the 75 fighting skill, but his shot, 85, 87, that's solid. His offensive awareness and puck control, 88 and 86. Those are the ones I look at as a playmaker, right? Offensive awareness, 88. He's got the potential to put up quite a few points for us, I feel like, and he's only 21, 83 overall. Great skater. Defensive category is good, too. 85 defensive awareness. He's the perfect two-way forward that is gonna put up points. You compare that to Backlund, who is the defensive version of the two-way forward. And I'm going to see if Buffalo will take this straight up. Obviously, okay, it doesn't look like they will. I'm going to have to sweeten the deal a bit. But we can still move on from Backlund and stay above the cap, which is huge. As far as other players that we could potentially move that have salary, I believe I've settled that at the end of the last episode here. Sharon Govich, Mangiapane, those guys are probably going to stay for 1 more year, right? I don't want to gut the roster too much. I should probably be paying a bit more attention to Sharon Govich. Maybe I could add him and Backlund, and Buffalo would be a lot more inclined to take this deal. I know I already got Zemgus Girgensons from them, so Sharon Govich here, he's playing 4th line minutes. I think he's better than that. He's only 25, right? And then Backlund is that kind of guy that's going to help Buffalo as a veteran, that two-way forward, a defensive forward. They don't have many of those. And of course, we're getting JJ Peterka. I wonder if we can potentially get maybe a 3rd-round pick out of them as well. This does mean that we're really up against it with the cap. Holy cow, I just looked at our draft pick situation. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4 next year, right? We really had to do a lot to replenish the picks next year, but there it is. We're looking pretty good. Next year's first from Florida, I believe that's part of the Kachuk trade, because I don't think I acquired that, but I definitely acquired the Carolina Hurricanes first. But we're looking okay as far as picks. Not a ton, but getting another 3rd rounder this year would be very, very nice for us. I could maybe get it next year. Maybe I won't give up Sharangovich just yet. Backlund and maybe a pick, but again, picks are not exactly a surplus. As far as goalies I have, again, we don't have many of those to give away. Rookie skaters to potentially move on from guys that are not, I mean, Buffalo wants Poirier. He's 21 at 75, offensive defenseman. I don't know if he is going to make it, right? I'd love to try and give them Siana instead. Backlund and Siana for Peterka. I don't think that's going to go through. It doesn't meet their trade block needs, and yeah, they're just not going to do that kind of deal. But what I think I will do is try and give them Poirier. I think a prospect for a prospect here. No, Peterka's not a prospect, but Backlund and a prospect for Peterka feels pretty solid to me, and I feel like I could still get a pick out of this one. Now, maybe instead of Backlund, I give away Sharangovich. Taking a look at who's got more value. I believe Backlund has much more value. Backlund, I shouldn't say much more value, but he does have more value. He signed for 2 more years after this one, right? You can see the 2-year extension at 4.5. Sharangovich next year is only at 3.1, so that would free up even more cap space for us next year. I'm not an aging player. Backlund is a guy that I think, would make sense to go to Buffalo. And then back in this trade as well, I probably want a 4th or a 3rd. They don't have a 3rd next year. Can I get a 3rd this year? If not, I'll see if I can get a 4th. But Poirier, I mean, listen, offensive defenseman, medium top 4, 75, but he's already 21. That's the worrying part to me, is that he's already 21. We see Peterka, who's 21, and he's an 83, right? So I feel like this is fine. We can find other guys like Poirier. We can potentially draft somebody and potentially sign some players. We don't exactly have too many defensemen in the pipeline. Like, let's take a look at that. Right, I've kind of gutted it. Taking a look at the young players, he is what, our 6th best, 7th best defenseman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's our 6th best defenseman right now. We've got Demers and DeSimone in the NHL. Right, I did sign Kral. He's not worth much. Poirier is probably our only defenseman prospect, so it's tough to give it up. But we still have Hannafin. Right, we need those guys in there. We're trying to retool quicker than we're trying to completely rebuild, right? So those guys in their early 20s, the 21 to 24 is really what I'm looking for. And then we can round out the roster with 26-year-olds, 27-year-olds. I think that's the kind of a similar timeline, 26 to 28 for signings, and then 21 to 24 for guys we bring in. So I'm going to give this trade a go. I don't think the 3rd round pick is going to work. Yeah, it's rejected. So let's see, can I potentially get a 4th round pick? I'll go with the next year's 4th. I just acquire a few more picks for next year. Let's see if the 4th is going to go through. Trade accepted. Consider it a done deal. JJ Peterka. That one's for you, Eisenholtz. But there we go. Bringing in JJ Peterka. 21 skaters. We should be good to go. We're going to go ahead and edit the lines. I'll take care of this really quickly, and I'll show you guys what I've got cooking up. I'm going to let them set it up, and then I'll tweak it. All right, so I finished working on the lines here, and some of you may be surprised that I've got Lafreniere on the 2nd line. He just fits so perfectly on the 2nd line, and listen, he was a -3. He did have 16 points, but I think playing against lesser competition and getting the +2 also allows JJ Peterka to get the +5 here, right? So flip-flop these 2 guys. We get a +4 on the top line and a +1 on the 2nd. I'm going to go with the +2 on the 2nd and a +5 on the top. Then the 3rd line, really, Igor Sharangovich is the old man at 25. We've got 80 overall Zari and Pelletier here. I can't, I think, justify moving them up. Ruzicka here, I mean, he is 24, so maybe I do that and put Zari on the 2nd line. But he also was a -3, where Ruzicka, at 15 minutes, he is killing it, 16 points. So I don't know. I think I might actually change my mind and put Zari at center on this line. At 75 faceoffs, he can definitely take them and win them. Sharangovich is the best faceoff taker there on the 2nd line. So potentially, yeah, I was going to say maybe flip-flop Peterka and Mangiapane or Lafreniere, but actually, and it does look like Peterka has wheels, so that's crazy, right? I did not expect that, but he does fit the top line. Lafreniere fits the 2nd line. I'll give Lafreniere a little... he's still getting massive amounts of ice time, right? 19 minutes a night. He's playing there on the defense, right? He doesn't have, I think... Is it a better shot? Slap shot, maybe? Than Peterka? He's definitely got a better shot than Peterka. So maybe I want to flip-flop these guys and put Peterka at the point and Lafreniere at there. As far as the distributor, it is going to be Huberdeau. The finisher is Lindholm, and the puck carrier is also Huberdeau. Right, those guys, maybe I want Lafreniere to be the finisher, but Elias Lindholm, I want him to really take off as that #1 center, right? He doesn't have much chance to grow outside of statistical growth. Then on the second power play, we got Ruzicka, Mangiapane, Zari, Hannafin, and Chillington. So I think this is fine. This is a young second line. Pretty much everybody I want is on the top line here. It's the Peterka-Lafreniere debate. We may change that if we win too much, or Lafreniere is not getting enough points, or Peterka is looking in over his head. I don't think so. He's a really well-rounded player. I do think Lafreniere is better. I just like the fact that we get a +5 rather than a +4, and then a +2 rather than a +1, right? So penalty kill, it is what it is, right? We're just giving some of the bottom guys a bit more ice time just so they don't complain about ice time, and then obviously goalie hasn't changed. Scratched is still Demers, Dzingel, and Pospisil. I did decide to keep him scratched just because at medium top 9, 78 at 24, the chances that he really does develop into something are very slim. So the Calgary Wranglers need me to hit the best lines, which I do. And honestly, it's not too bad. Emilio Pettersson here. Yeah, not Elias Pettersson, not the young Elias Pettersson, but Matt Coronado. I'm hoping that he can continue to do well because he's about a point per game down there in the minors. So that is beautiful. That's what you want to see. As far as anybody else that's medium top 6, it doesn't look like we have anybody else down here that's that good. And then defensively, there's not really anybody in the pipeline right now, at least signed up to a contract that is worthwhile for us. But there we go. That is the trade I'm making. I did look at Bobby Brink. That was another comment. He's only 79, I think, at 22 and medium top 6. I really worry about his viability of growing into something good. Now, I know we said we needed goal scorers. I think Lafreniere can score some goals, and I think Peterka will be able to as well on top of Huberdeau and Lindholm. I think we got some two-way forwards that can score. If scoring really does become an issue, I will start to target more snipers. But at least for now, I think we've got guys that can score and kind of do it all. Next up, I'll talk about the contracts. So that was the next thing you guys had in the comment section, right? To extend Hannafin, but then bridge Wolf. I do like that idea, right? Give Wolf a 2-year deal so he's still an RFA. He'd be making $3 million per year. I'll see if I can get him to take like 2.5. Right? That's a lot of money. And now that we have Spencer Knight, he's not as crucial to the future success. We should still re-sign him and give him a 2-year deal. A 3-year deal, I think we're paying him too much money, especially because he's gonna be the backup next year. Right? He should grow and develop into that kind of player for us. But 2 years at 2.5, it'll give us another year or two to figure out what to do with him. So I'm gonna offer him that. And then, like you guys had mentioned, Hannafin is the guy that I want to sign and bring back. Everybody else will wait and see, but Hannafin does want a contract. I think the 6 years, 6-7 years at $4.5 million. I think 6 years at $4.5 million would be a fantastic deal. I think that's a steal for 6 more years. He'd be 32 at the end of that deal. We'd make a decision depending on how we're going. It's an easily movable deal as well. So there's a lot of money being offered out. We do have quite a bit. Taking a look here, with those 3 contracts we've offered, it's going to eat into that $35 million. But at least for now, we have 35 minus like the 5-6 for Lindholm, 5 for Hannafin, and then 2.5. Right, so we're looking at about 13-14 million gone. So still 20 million in cap space. So we'll be players in free agency. We absolutely will be players in free agency. Hoping, though, that we can get some of these young potential players to grow. Lafreniere, Peterka, maybe Dubé. He's already 25. But Connor Zary, Pelletier, Hannafin. Maybe a couple more overall points before he really caps out. But that's what we're going to do there, guys. And we should be ready to go and get ourselves up to the trade deadline. I want to see where we're at. I don't think there's much I have left trade away, right? We've still got... I'd probably have to bring on quite a bit of salary. And I hate the fact that you can't just be a salary dump team. Like right now, I would love to take on some of the worst contracts in the league that are expiring in 2 years, 3 years maybe, right? I took on Barclay Goodrow, but I had to give something up to get that. So we'll go... I think it's going to be a little bit of time here. We've got, 2-3 months to go? All of December, January, and then all of February as well before we get up through the first week of March. So that's great. One thing I don't want to forget to do is set up the scouting. I set them up to end on December 3rd. So we'll go ahead and see how we do against Vancouver. Hopefully we take the L. We need a veteran presence on the team. Ooh, I'm going to... Do I agree? I feel like we just traded away Backlund, I guess. So we don't exactly have a veteran presence on the team. We need our young guys to take the bull by the horns and figure it out. Now, that would really hurt our management. Adding a veteran takes away a spot. Young guys, we need to trust the process. Are you in? Now, this is risky, right? It says, I don't know if I'm covering it or not. It says risky. I'd rather take that chance rather than just completely disagree, because I feel like the hit will be the same either way, but at least I get this chance to persuade Anthony Hawley. So I'm going to try and persuade him. Though I sort of agree, the lack of a veteran presence is detrimental to the team. I fully expect you to be the coach, handle a room full of kids. I will not be messing with our process. And I'll go and acquire a veteran older than 30. This will solve your issue. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go acquire a veteran older than 30. That's not in the cards for me. So I'm going to disagree, and the management morale is going to go down by 10 rather than 15. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with our morale taking a bit of a hit. I get it, right? It's not going to be a fun season. A weaker draft class than normal. Great. And I have 2 first-round picks. A shootout loss there against the Vancouver Canucks. So we still pick up a point, and I'm now going to go ahead and set up the scouts, and we can officially get the simulation underway. So we have taken care of the scouts. We are now ready to get the simulation officially underway. I know you guys were riveted by that shootout loss that we had to the Canucks, but now it's time to get the couple months going, see how we really do. Dustin Wolf is oh! Okay, Dustin, are you kidding me? A laughable offer? I undercut him by like $400,000 for 2 years, and now he's not interested in a contract? Buddy, I got news for you. You're an RFA. You're here no matter what you want to say, buddy. Okay. Elias Lindholm is going to renew his contract with me. And so is Noah Hannafin. So that at least those two guys understand, and they're good. Okay, we're getting points in this month. I try to win and I lose, and I try to lose and I win. It's ridiculous here. But we'll see after the first month how like Peterka and Lafreniere are doing, because Lafreniere had 23 games, 16 points. Wow. Okay, we are in 3rd place. What? This is yikes. Mangiapane is leading the team in points. Are you kidding me? Okay. Let's take a look at the forward core. Mangiapane leading the team in points with an 18.7% shooting percentage. Huberdeau with 26 and 36. Lafreniere with 25 and 36. So in 13 games, he put up 9 points, 5 goals, 4 assists in 13 games. I feel like that's pretty good. JJ Peterka's down here. He's a plus 10 now, right? This will be easy to see what he could do. He put up 3 points in 13 games played, but was a plus 4. So maybe we want to move him down to the second line, although he is playing 20 minutes and he's playing well at it, right? Giveaway to takeaway ratio is kind of insane. Maybe I'll keep him on the first line. Elias Lindholm's a -6, though, with 18 points. Connor Zary with 19. I love to see that. Ruzicka gained another plus, 20 points now. Peltier, sorry. You guys corrected me in the comments. Now, I love these comments, too, right? I don't want to say these guys' names wrong. So those of you that provide helpful feedback about their name pronunciation in the comments, you guys are the true heroes here. Peltier is here at 14 points in 35 games played. Dubé, Sharon Govich, Barclay Goodrow, Pospisil, and then Girgensons we saw, right? Taking a look at the defensemen, Hannafin and Anderson are doing great. 28 points for Rasmus Anderson. No, I think he's tied for the team lead. Hannafin with 20 and 36 is great. Osterley with 11, okay. Shillington there with 5, but a -8. Demers is a +6 and 4 points. Are you kidding me? Mark Pissick there doing well, and then De Simone with a -2. All right, so Demers wasn't playing. Hold on, I got to get Demers in there instead of De Simone. Because Demers, I signed him. I guess he's fine as a 7th defenseman. But maybe I will sacrifice the +5. Because Lafreniere, he was doing so well on that second line. He's still playing 19 minutes a night on average. Peterka is now up to 16 minutes, but you can see Buffalo, he's only shooting 7%. That was doubled in Buffalo there, so it's early yet. But, you can see he's playing 6 more minutes a night here for us than he was for the Sabres. Better plus-minus, more penalty minutes. His shooting percentage is bound to come up, right? And it's also, Lafreniere's doing well. 9 points in 13 games is a really good clip. 9 points in 13 games. It's almost a point per game. That's on pace for, actually 9 divided by 13 is, yeah, okay. So that's on pace for 56 points, which definitely not bad. I'd like to see it be a little bit more. Obviously, that's actually a career high for him. Where JJ Peterka, we know his shooting percentage is lower, but 3 points in 13 games is nowhere near what we need out of him. So maybe playing him with Zari and Mangiapane, who's absolutely killing it, probably because of the influence of Alexis Lafreniere. We'll give that a shot. We'll just flip-flop these guys. Obviously, we are trying to tank, and we're failing. Tank failing successfully? Because we're in third, and we're 3 points behind. How the hell are we 3 points behind the Canucks, man? I have no idea. I guess our team is just better than it looks on paper. We still have the Hurricanes pick. Where are the Hurricanes? The Hurricanes are, they're the best. They're the third best team in the league. They're the best team in the Metro. So not where we wanted our picks to be. That's not where we need them to be. We need our elite talent, but we do have a Lafreniere. So we have an elite superstar potentially in the making, right? But I do want to bottom out a lot more than we are. A win. There we go. Losses. We want losses, not wins. Not every other. Maybe Pysyk is the glue, and we need to get rid of him. For Cormier, a 4th Pysyk and a 7th for Cormier. Now, we don't have defenseman prospects. He is 73 at 21 with medium top 4, offensive defenseman, right? It would be a 4th and then a 7th as well as Pysyk. I think I might do this. We do need a defenseman prospect. We don't know for a fact that he's a 73. He could be better. He could be worse. But at 21, medium top 4, low value, low risk. Pysyk is an 80, right? So somebody we can get rid of. And I feel like this is kind of that replenishing the Poirier trade with Cormier here. So trade accepted. Beautiful. So we are going to go to roster moves. We need to, I believe, call up another defender. In the system, we have Kral, Gilbert. Oh, is he in the NHL right now? No, he's not. Where is he? He should be in the system here. He was what, a 73? Yeah, there he is. We're not going to call him up, obviously. He's a minor league top 2 defenseman, right? And I feel like that's a pretty good trade. I will call up Kral, I think. Actually, he's a pretty solid guy. Dennis Gilbert. I'm going to call him up. He'll be our new 7th defenseman. De Simone is now going to be our new Mark Pysyk. And we will just, whatever minutes Pysyk was taking, I feel like is fine here. For Demers. Yeah, Demers now can get every game. And De Simone and Demers do not work well together. Demers play with Shillington. Demers does not fit the scheme at all, does he? Actually, he's not as bad there, but Osterley up. Oh my god, that's a -3 between De Simone and Demers. So I don't plan on trading any of those guys or improving them. So -3 is fine for that bottom pairing. Calgary Wranglers need to best line it. And Luke Cormier, they have him on the top pairing. I don't know if they know something I don't, but if he's better than an 85, I will feel very, very happy about that one. Osterley for a 5th and a 6th, that's an inconsequential trade. And, oh god, we are in the minors. We want to go to the AHL, now the NHL. A shootout loss, a win, and a win. All right, we are somehow... I can't even tank properly. I guess I did get too many good players, right? Spencer Knight in goal. I don't know what else to say. I really don't know. I have no explanation for why our team is winning as many games as it is. Edmonton, we beat them. We do lose there. We're gonna miss the playoffs, but be probably that close, right? We're going to be that close. And then Huberdeau's living up to that contract, I guess. 39 and 49 is not bad. Fan happiness is 86. We're doing well as far as the owner's happy. He's happy, right? Owner's happy. That means I have a job, which is good news. Happy with the job you've done. Keep what you're doing. Yeah, great. Oh, man. Okay. We should be losing, but we're I wish I could look at some more advanced stats, but we'll just take a look at team stats. What is carrying us right now? Is it elite offense? Our 2.9 goals for per game, our 3.1. Oh my god, we're losing 8 games in overtime. We have only 1 win in a shootout. Is it not the power play? It's not the penalty. Our team is terrible, yet we're winning. What? We have 2.94 goals per game, which is the 3rd worst in the division. Our goals against per game is 3rd best in the division, so I guess we're just like a low-event, boring team, but our power play is atrocious. Our penalty kill is also very bad. I I don't know what to say. This is the frustrating part, is when you try and tear down as much talent as possible, sometimes you just don't get the bounce. Yeah, Lafreniere now has 34 points, or 33 points, excuse me. I thought it was 34. But he had, what? He had 9 plus his, oh God, I've forgotten already what he's gotten. He was on pace for 56 goals, or points. Now he's, oh God, I can't remember anymore. Did JJ Peterka improve? JJ Peterka is regressing, -2 now, but 8 points. He had, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to flip-flop these guys back. I think it was better for everybody involved when those two were back to what they were doing. So, oh man, we're way too far away to tank now. We just kind of ride it out. I guess I'm bad at tanking. I guess I'm very bad at tanking, but we're going to go up here to the 8th, get right up to the trade deadline for you guys here. And there's a loss. Are we going to start bottoming out? Are we going to start finally playing like the team we are? Nope. There's 2 straight wins against decent teams. We're a 500 team, apparently. I can't get us to lose multiple games in a row. Overtime loss there, still picking up a point, and then we lose to the Kings. We now get into the month of March, where we beat Pittsburgh in a shootout. Look at that. Season ticket drive is about to begin. We have proceeded. We have processed the season ticket renewals below. Okay, so what is that? Those are the guys that renewed? I don't know if that means like I don't know. We've already sold 1,400 of the 2,100 club seat kind of thing. I wish they would be a little bit more specific. What is the denominator there? Jeez, we are 4 points away from the division lead. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, we are so far away from tanking. It's not even close, guys. It's not going to be a conversation. And I don't think I can do enough damage to get us down close to, we're 20 points ahead of the Minnesota Wild. We are 11 points ahead of the Blue Jackets down there, even in 25th, right? So we're talking like 8th, right? Top 10 pick. We are 10 points ahead of a top 10 pick. Oh my God, we are better than I thought we were. I guess we're better than the Toronto Maple Leafs. Everybody saw that one coming, right? Okay, points. Huberdeau doing well. Mangiapane doing better than I thought. Lafreniere had 33 points. Now he's gotten 11 in the next 19. So half a point per game. Connor Zary, holy cow, kid. 42 points in 62 games. That's what he's up a point. He's up to an 81. This is what we love to see. He's shooting 13%, 18.5 minutes a night. Giveaway to takeaway ratio is pretty good, and he throws his body around. 6 foot 178, but loves to hit. Love that. Elias Lindholm, maybe I should have traded you. Maybe. I mean, he's a great defensive forward. Maybe I shouldn't look to him to put up points, although 40 and 59 is still pretty decent. Ruzicka, plus 12, 35 points. JJ Peterka now down to even. He's a -6, but he's got 15 now and 39, so not putting up the points I would have hoped him to put up. His shooting percentage still needs to go up a bit. I don't think 8.2% is enough for his type of shot, but giveaway to takeaway ratio is still pretty good, so I think the points will come for a guy like Peterka. Looking at his underlying stats, right? 88 offensive awareness, 86 passing. I think maybe we just need some goal scorers. Peltier with 26 and a +2. Dubé with 21 and a +5. Sharangovich with the 19 and a +1. Goudreau, wow. Okay, the bottom 6 is decent. Looking at the defense, Demers, no longer that ridiculous plus. But Osterley, he's still good. He actually is a lot better than I'm giving him credit due to that defensive category, but Anderson with 44 points in 62 games is phenomenal. He's basically like an offensive defenseman that's not an offensive defenseman, and when paired with Hannafin, these two guys are doing great. In goal, Spencer Knight is playing well, right? I'm not going to criticize Spencer Knight. He might actually be playing too well. 908 save percentage, and he's got an X factor now, and he's up to an 87. Okay, so maybe we should check out the progress reports too, but 304 and 908 save percentage is really good. We go take a look at those progress reports like I mentioned. I want to see who is growing, who's developing mid-season, right? They don't have to be on the roster right now, but who is developing? And it looks like Spencer Knight is just a beast. Spencer Knight plus 15 mid-season. You can see the natural growth here for all of the categories is so nice. Rebound control and recovery are elite now. and he's got a great athletic profile. Peltier up to an 81. I believe he was a 79. So, that's morale growth, huh? He's getting a lot of morale growth. I gotcha. I keep forgetting that morale does impact how a player plays. So there is a little bit of natural growth in the body checking, aggressiveness, and stick check or strength, as well as shot blocking and stick checking, and that's it. But I mean, still to see him grow, that's pretty nice. These guys like Huberdeau's not a guy that I'm concerned about. What I am concerned about is Lafreniere not growing, right? I mean, 43 points in 60 games. I do like that pace, right? That's again on pace for 60 points because I believe I calculated he was on pace for 56. Yeah, 56.7. Now he's on pace for, wow, that's a lot better. 50, not a lot better, 59. So he's basically churning along at the same pace. In the system, who is growing, who is developing? Okay, Rory Cairns. Nice natural growth. Holy cow. At a top 9. Hanzik. Samuel Hanzik, one of our best youngsters at 19, is a 73. You're seeing some natural growth from him mid-season. Cormier, who's a 75. I like to see that a lot. So basically just replaced Poirier. I like that deal a lot. The fact that we gave up Pissick a 4th and a 7th for Cormier. And he's growing nicely naturally. Like his shot's getting better. The defensive category is getting better as an offensive defenseman. He's still a pretty decent skater. And then obviously the puck skill is getting better as well. So Cormier growing. Love to see that. Wolf going up by 9. He's now an 80 overall. And it's not morale growth. Also love to see that. Lenny Haminaho is growing a little bit. Got better at the offensive awareness and the old defensive awareness. Getting a little bit smarter there, kid. Love to see that. I don't think anybody's regressing. So honestly, the growth is crazy. Spencer Knight's development he's already surpassed Jacob Markstrom as the kind of goalie he is. So that's awesome. Really, guys, at 71 points, I think we do want to try to miss the playoffs just to get ourselves in the lottery and get a shot at it. Question is, how do we do that, right? Taking a look at the Western Conference. We are the 7th seed. We're not even the 8th seed. That's the Canucks. They're tied with us, yes, but we have 3 games in hand. The Predators are realistically the only team that can catch us. I think we're just a product of the Oilers are bad, the Stars are bad, the Wild are bad. Like, those were teams that should have been better than us. The Blues probably should have been better than us too, considering how much I gutted our roster. I just don't know what's causing us to win games, right? If I did, I'd be stopping it, right? Is it the goals for per game? No, because it's the 4th worst in the conference. Goals against per game? We're right at, I guess we're top 10, right? 3, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, I mean, I guess having a guy like Spencer Knight is really helping us out a ton. I don't want to bench Spencer Knight to work on his development, but I mean, I guess, you know, this, I'm here waffling about how do we tank? Maybe we just don't. Maybe we use our picks to move up into the top 10 and go get a guaranteed guy that we are excited about, right? One of those guys that's 1 or 2 years away that sometimes falls. Maybe we can target one of those guys. We won't be getting the medium elite Zykov here, who's a 2-way forward, right? NHL ready Mikko Koivu. But there's plenty of medium elite talent. There's even Tij Aginla here, 2 years away. 1 year away, Sam Dickinson, 6'3" defenseman, 2-way defender. Really, really good, actually. Cycle Pinch, which could be nice for us. Tarek Parajak is 2 years away, right? NHL ready Mason Jackson here at pick 5. So maybe we move up to 5 for Mason Jackson. We could also move a pick to get a pick. Move a pick and a player to get a better valued 1st round pick if we really wanted to. As far as potential later round guys that we've identified, Maxime Massey here, 2 years away. That's not bad at 18. Viti Vasanainen is 2 years away. Eric's Mateko also. So there's some guys here that are close to being ready. Cole Beaudoin, who's at 32, could be another guy to go after, right? So we don't really know too much just yet. We're halfway through the season. We're halfway through the scouting cycle. So I'm not upset at our scouts for that, right? Miguel Marquez here, 3 years away, plays like O'Reilly. Luke Miza might play like a 1 year away kind of player, right? We got Richie, Beaudoin, another Beaudoin, I believe. Yeah, but Ryder Ritchie could be 2 years away at 17. That's exciting. So honestly, guys, I'm not sure what to do at the deadline. And I'm really happy that I set out to pause this episode at the deadline because I don't know what direction to turn. And that's where I need your guys' help, right? What do we do here? Where do we go? Do we sell off even more? Not sure how we can, right? Who are we selling off? Am I giving somebody the wrong amount of ice time? Do we need to get rid of Mangiapane and his tremendous point production, his 47 points? You know, he's on pace for a career high here in points for us, which is great. But at 27, he's probably a guy that I'd like to move. However, he's making $5.8 million, and I don't know if I can get rid of $5.8 million. Barclay Goodrow is seemingly a great pickup, a depth player that's got 7 goals, only 19 penalty minutes, playing 9 minutes, but is a plus as well. Same thing with Zemgus Girgensons. This fourth line is turning out to be great. Dylan Dubé. Do I move on from him? I mean, he's losing morale because of ice time, but, you know, is he a kind of guy that we move on from? Ruzicka's up to an 82. You love to see that, right? Maybe him over Zari, but Zari is even killing it, right? And I'm not going to move some of the young guys, so I guess I'm complaining about a problem that's nice to have, that we're doing too well, but when I'm looking towards the future, this is not a cup-winning roster. This is not a make it in and anything can happen kind of roster. We barely have somebody over 86 overall. Anderson on the blue line, 87. Elias Lindholm at 88. We don't have anybody close to 90, 91, 92. You generally need those guys because they take over come playoff time. So the depth is there. We got a bunch of average players, but we're kind of playing like the Seattle Kraken did with just 4 second lines. It's nice, but I'd like to maybe get an elite player, right? We just have to get in the top 7. Right, I think we're a little bit too far to get a top 10 pick at this point. So the best move would probably be to trade to get a potential top 10 pick, right? Move Carolina or our own pick to have that extra first later, right? So we can still get one of those elite players. But we can take a look at the Hurricanes. They're still churning along as the third best team in the NHL, right? So moving their pick plus a player, potentially Mangiapane, maybe we can move up. And get a better pick. Hello, Senators, right? You're at 66 points. Maybe the Devils, right? A team that we could look to talk to. The Islanders, the Penguins. The Penguins might be actually a buyer, or a conservative buyer. They shouldn't be, but they, you know, it might be these teams that had this expectation coming into the season, like the Oilers. They're a conservative buyer. Let's see some of these other teams that might be. The Devils are a buyer, right? The Devils are a pure on buyer, and we could look to maybe potentially. I mean, I'd move our pick because the Devils have a much, much better chance at the first overall pick than we do. And then a player that matches their scheme like Mangiapane, they'd be over the league maximum salary cap. I guess I could retain some salary on Mangiapane for 2 years. We have plenty, right? Like $1.5 million. They'd still be over the league maximum salary cap, it says. So I'd probably have to retain $2 million. That's a lot of retaining. We might have to take somebody back, but even that, I don't think that gets the deal done, is the scary part, right? That doesn't get it across the line. Huberdeau's actually got some good value. Peltier, Zari, Mangiapane is probably the guy I'm moving on from. But, you know, the Devils don't make sense. Maybe the Islanders, another team that's a buyer and they want him. Do they want to give away their first round pick? Actually, it might be more. Actually, that's a little bit closer. They just have more skaters too many skaters in the organization. We can make this work. The Pittsburgh Penguins should be coming up here in just a second. They might be, their conservative seller. Holy cow. So now, they don't even have their first. That's right. So we'd have to look at these teams that might have multiple first round picks. Like, the Philadelphia Flyers here are 33, 26, and 5. And they want our first. We could do that. We could swap firsts. The Sharks, oh my God. Oh, San Jose is going to be rolling in it here in a second. They are just killing it right now. But some of those teams that are still thinking that like the Ducks are a conservative buyer, maybe we take their first round pick, swapping first and giving them Mangiapane. We shed some salary. We're still above the cap because at this point in the season, it moves it way less, right? His 5.8 is not 5.8 on the cap right now. His 5.8 would be a lot lower. Taking a look here. Wow, our picks are really lowly valued. Mangiapane, though. But they would also take a guy like Sharon Govich, right? So we could move him as well. But our first and Mangiapane to move up and get the Ducks first because they are much worse than we are. 27, 28, and 7, right? They're much closer to that bottom end, right? The Coyotes are not a seller. But you guys see the thought process I'm going for here is I think a shot at the lottery is what we need, and we're our odds are going to be so low. I just want to refresh your memory, guys, on the entire league standings, but looking from the bottom, right? So the Arizona Coyotes, they're listed as a seller. The Islanders could be one to work at here because they could potentially have a top 5 pick, which is what we want. They're a conservative buyer, I believe, and we might be able to negotiate with them, or the Devils, right? So those were 2 teams I was looking at. The Anaheim Ducks are close to being that kind of team, and we'll see if maybe Mangiapane really ruins it for them, but you know, they're looking right now at, I think, the 8th pick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, not 9th overall pick. So it's still a top 10 pick. Couple wins, though, they could really take off, right? I was looking at some other teams as well in this range. Nashville could be another team that's closer to the bottom than into the playoffs. But you guys let me know where to go. I feel like I feel like I want to move a good player and the Carolina pick to potentially move to like the Ducks pick, which is a 9th overall pick. Because if we move Mangiapane, we may fall out and we might get 2 cracks at the lottery. So that could be kind of good. I just know that the Carolina Hurricanes have such a lowly valued 1st round pick that it could be kind of tough to do that. Maybe moving a 3rd round pick, a 1st, and a player to go up and get a really, really elite option at the draft. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. This is what you guys are the best at. Very good creative and constructive comments. So I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end of this video. So if you are here, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And I will see you guys in the next one.
This a free for all before we fall. This a free for all before we fall.